is up? Arman here of Jet Setter, and I'm back for another first impression video. This time around, I'm going to explore fragrances from the house of an obscure French perfumery brand, and this is the house of Teo Cabanel. A little background on this house: it was founded in Algeria in the 1890s, but they are currently based in France, and they have a total of 17 fragrances under the brand. I first got interested about Teo Cabanel because I was intrigued by one of their fragrances, which is called Café Cabanel. And by the description of the fragrant notes, I think it is a gourmand lover's dream come true. It contains notes of coffee, caramel, butter, cinnamon, tonka bean, among others. So when someone from the fragrance community, his name is Angelo Cruz, by the way, offered to share his discoveries set to interested reviewers, I took the opportunity so I could try Café Cabanel and the other fragrances offering from this house. But unfortunately, the discovery set that was shared with me does not include Café Cabanel, so I'm a little bit disappointed. But still, I am excited because this is the first time that I would be exploring this house. So this is the box that was shared by Angelo, and it contains 16 different samples from the house of Teo Cabanel. I will not be trying all of them. I will be picking probably just 5 to try, and maybe, I don't know, maybe a wild card afterwards, and give you my first impressions of these perfumes. So to start with, I will be trying out Je ne sais quoi. The name actually intrigued me, and that's the reason why I'm trying this first. So this fragrance was launched in 2020, and it was created by Patrice Revillard. And fragrant notes, if you just allow me to read them, top notes include rice, middle notes include matcha tea, mate, violet leaf. Base notes are sandalwood, tolu balsam, gayak wood, and Haitian vetiver. So what are my expectations of Je ne sais quoi? Well, based on the fragrance note breakdown, I expect it to be a little bit powdery, probably. And because of the matcha tea and the mate, I guess it has some tea-like qualities. The violet leaf probably lends a very ozonic touch to this fragrance, and maybe a little bit of sweetness because of the tolu balsam. So let's try this. All right. Okay. Immediately, you know what this reminds me of are uncooked rice. So there's this powdery quality to it, which reminds me of uncooked grains of rice. And there's a little bit of sweetness because, again, of the tolu balsam. I couldn't really detect the matcha tea and also the mate, but basically the rice note is actually the strongest, which is kind of weird. What are my first impressions of this? I don't know. I guess if you'd like to smell like rice, this is the perfume for you. It's a little bit weird smelling, I guess. I wouldn't say that it's not fragrant, but I wouldn't say that it's fragrant also. So it's probably somewhere in between. I wouldn't say I like it, but I wouldn't say that I also hate it. It's middle of the road for me. I think this is a very soft fragrance which sits closely to the skin. So not my cup of tea. Not for me, actually. So the next one I'm trying is Olala, and this was released in 2020. The fragrance was created again by Patrice Revillard, and Let me read the top notes. Top notes are hazelnut and saffron. Middle notes are orris and tobacco. Base notes are sandalwood, tonka bean, and white musk. All right, so let's try this. Okay, this is an improvement over je ne sais quoi. The hazelnut is very prominent, but not, there's this nutty, Christmassy, chocolatey scent that I detect, and again, that's because of the hazelnut. But it's kind of soft. There's orris here apparently, but I couldn't really detect it, and also tobacco. There's a bit of tonka bean that I smell, and I guess the other fragrance note that is quite prominent here is the white musk. So basically, it's just hazelnut and white musk that I smell here. It's nice, but I wouldn't really say that again that this is to my liking. Now I can smell the tobacco, but it sits closely to my skin. So this is really a skin scent for me. So I don't think that this projects really very well. But like what I've said, this is an improvement, I would say, over je ne sais quoi. So the next fragrance that I'm trying is Rendezvous, and this fragrance was created by Marie Schnierer. And the top notes are mimosa, almond, violet leaf. Middle notes are violet, orange blossom, jasmine, rose. Base notes are vanilla, white musk, tonka bean. So I expect this to be a little bit floral, a little bit sweet as well. Okay, the prominent note here is the violet flower, not the violet leaf. It's quite feminine because of the violet and the jasmine and the orange blossom. The mimosa is also very prominent. It has a very water-like quality to it. It's very feminine. I think, I don't know if this is unisex, but definitely this is more feminine leaning. A little bit on the, I would say that this is a little bit on the mature side. Very, to me, it's a little bit grandmotherly. It's actually very feminine and soft, and a little bit mature smelling because of the violet. For some reason, I associate the smell of violets with matured ladies, and this is, I guess, one of them. Violet is not actually one of my favorite fragrance notes, and so this is again a pass for me. But I don't know, maybe women would probably like this. It's very polite, dainty fragrance. So I guess if you're into this type of fragrances, maybe this is for you. So the next one I'm trying is Très French, and the top notes are pear, peony, lily of the valley, jasmine. Solar notes: white musk, sandalwood, benzoin, and Haitian vetiver. So the perfumer responsible for this is Marie Schnierer. So I'm gonna open this and try this out. Très French. So I don't know how French this is. I expect this to be a little bit floral and fruity. Okay, well, this has the unmistakable fragrance of lily of the valley, and lily of the valley, unfortunately, is not one of my favorite fragrance notes. Also, to me, it smells a little bit plasticky. There's also peony, not my favorite as well. Um, and then the solar notes, which makes it uh, a little bit weird smelling. Um, Unfortunately, again, not for me. I don't know if there's really a market for this. Well, probably the market for this are the same people who enjoy fragrances like Joe Malone. At least, you know, that's my impression of Trey French. So again, it's a pass for me. The next one I'm trying is a voila, and this was created also by Patrice Reviard. Top notes are aldehydes, neroli, heliotrope, white flowers, rose, white moss, and sandalwood. So let's try this. Okay, so this is it, a voila, and voila. All right. It smells a little bit soapy. I guess it's because of the aldehydes. Reminds me of fabric softener in a good way, actually. It's very soft. It smells like, again, very dainty, very polite. Definitely for daytime wear. It does smell good, but it's not really to my liking. It's not really my it's not really the fragrance that I would really go for. And this is really very, again, very feminine leaning. So I suppose that, you know, the 5 fragrances that I tried are all feminine leaning, except for Olala. Olala is still feminine leaning, but it's very unisex. You know, after a while, Trey French actually smells very nice. It smells really very clean. I guess if you're really into clean smelling fragrances, this is for you. So, apart from these 5 fragrances, I've chosen a wild card, and this is randomly picked, and it's called agoa or agoa. So let's try this. So agoa was launched in 2012, and it contains top notes of bergamot, lemon, mandarin, orange, so very citrusy. Middle notes of green tea, rose, base notes of moss, woody notes, and amber. So let's try this. Okay, so what's very prominent here is green tea, and this reminds me of Elizabeth Arden's green tea fragrance. So for fans of green tea fragrances, maybe this is for you. This is again a very soft, polite, clean fragrance, just like many of the others that I've tried earlier. This is again not for me, not to my liking. I wouldn't say that I'm disappointed, but because I wasn't really expecting anything from this house. But what this house reminds me actually is that it reminds me of Jo Malone fragrances. So I guess, you know, if you're into Jo Malone and you're mostly on a budget, because I would suppose that this is actually more affordable as compared to Jo Malone, maybe this is for you. So I guess women would probably be more into Teo Cabanel. Um, the age range is quite wide. I would say this would probably be ranging from teens to probably 50s, 60s, and definitely these are all daytime wear. So far, what I actually like among them is Olala. I think that's my favorite among the 6 that I've tried. The one that to me is the least that I like is probably wait, what could that be? I think it's probably the one that I probably like the very least is Très French. So again, it's je ne sais quoi, probably. Sorry. So again, it's Olala for me, which I think is the best. And Très French is probably, to me, my least favorite. It's quite unfortunate that I'm not able to sample Café Cabanel because that's the fragrance that I'm really more excited about. So probably in the future, if I get my hands into a sample of Café Cabanel, that's something that I'm looking forward to. So there you have it. So those are 6 fragrances that I tried from the house of Teo Cabanel. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope that you will subscribe to my channel and that you watch my other content, and I'll see you next time. So bye.